The sun will kill us all. Here's how every morning we wake to its golden light, we bask in its warmth, we call it life giver, star of our sky, the sun. But this star has a dark side. One day, maybe tomorrow, maybe in a billion years, it will kill everything we've ever known, not with malice, but with the inevitability of physics. We orbit a ticking time bomb, and most of us don't even realize it. In this video, we'll explore the terrifying future that awaits us, not in science fiction but in science fact. From solar flares that could wipe out civilization overnight, to an Earth that will one day be scorched and swallowed whole. The sun gave us life, but it also wrote our death sentence. Chapter 1. A Sleeping Giant. At first glance, the sun is a perfect circle of light, but look closer and it's chaos incarnate. A 10,000-degree surface, raging plasma, magnetic fields that twist and snap, and a core hotter than anything on Earth, 15 million degrees. It's a constant nuclear explosion held in balance by gravity. A fusion reactor so vast it could fit 1 million Earths inside. Yet this isn't just idle chaos. Sometimes the sun lashes out, and when it does, it can bring our entire civilization to its knees. The question is, what happens when the sun gets angry? Chapter 2. When the sun attacks, solar storms are real. They're not just pretty lights in the sky, they're deadly. The sun constantly emits a stream of charged particles called the solar wind, but sometimes it erupts, violently, spewing billions of tons of plasma into space. These are coronal mass ejections, or CMEs. They can travel at millions of kilometers per hour. If one hits Earth, it compresses our magnetic field, sending surges into power grids, satellites, and communication systems. The last major one? The Carrington event, 1859. It caused telegraph systems to burst into flames, and that was in a world without electricity in every home, planes in the sky, or internet. If a similar event happened today, experts estimate trillions in damage, months, possibly years of blackouts, satellites fried, GPS gone, air traffic grounded, food and water distribution halted, financial markets frozen. Not just an inconvenience, a collapse. But CMEs are just the beginning. What happens when the sun goes beyond storms and begins to evolve? Chapter 3. The slow death of a star. The sun won't live forever. Right now it's about halfway through its life, 4.6 billion years in, with about 5 billion to go. But long before it dies, it will change. Over time, as it burns more hydrogen into helium, the core becomes denser. This increases pressure, and that pressure increases temperature. The result? The sun is slowly getting hotter, about 10% every billion years. This may not sound like much, but for Earth it's devastating. In just a few 100 million years, rising solar radiation will boil away our oceans. The water cycle will break, plants will die, the atmosphere will collapse. Earth will become a dry, lifeless husk. And humans? Long gone, unless we've left the planet. But the real nightmare comes later, when the sun becomes a monster. Chapter 4. Red Giant, the monster star. As hydrogen runs out in the core, the sun begins to die, but it doesn't go quietly. It swells, growing into a red giant hundreds of times its current size. Mercury and Venus will be vaporized. Earth may be engulfed, maybe just scorched to ash. Either way, it will be unrecognizable. The sun's outer layers will bleed into space, forming a glowing planetary nebula. The core, once the heart of fire, collapses into a white dwarf, a dense, hot ember of what once was, a cosmic tombstone, and in that moment the solar system ends. Not with an explosion, but a fading. But here's the thing. We're not just passengers on this journey, we're vulnerable right now to smaller, more immediate threats. Because long before the red giant comes, the sun could still destroy our modern world in a matter of hours. Chapter 5. The Day Technology Dies. The next Carrington-level solar storm isn't a question of if, it's when. NASA and NOAA monitor the sun constantly, but solar storms give little warning, sometimes hours, sometimes minutes. In 2012, we had a near miss. A massive CME passed through Earth's orbit just days after we moved through that spot. If it had hit, scientists say it could have been the biggest disaster in modern history. We dodged it, barely. Imagine the next one hits. Stock markets crash instantly. Communication satellites fried, no internet, no GPS, hospitals lose power, food delivery stops. Civilization as we know it pauses. And in a world this interconnected, a pause can turn into collapse. But what's even more alarming? There's no plan. Our technology wasn't built for this. We thought the sun was constant, friendly, but nature doesn't care what we think. So, can we survive the sun's fury? There are ideas, bold ones. Some scientists propose building magnetic shields at Lagrange point 1, where solar storms first hit. Others suggest reinforcing power grids, shielding satellites, creating early warning systems. But these solutions are expensive, and Earth isn't united. For now, we rely on prediction and luck. The sun is quiet most of the time, but when it isn't, we're gambling with everything. Still, there's hope. Because as dangerous as the sun is, it also holds the key to our future. Could the same force that threatens us also save us? We owe the sun everything. Without it, there's no light, no weather, no life. Its energy can power cities, spacecraft, and maybe one day entire civilizations. In fact, some scientists imagine vast solar collectors in space called Dyson swarms, harvesting solar power to fuel interstellar missions. It's poetic, really. The same star that could wipe us out might also launch us to other stars, but we're running on borrowed time. We don't get a second sun. And this one has an expiration date. So we face a choice: stay here and perish with it, or leave and carry our fire into the dark. But here's the ultimate question. If the sun gave us life and we leave it behind, what becomes of us? We live in the warmth of a dying star. It gave us everything, but it will take everything back, not out of cruelty, just out of physics. Every heartbeat, every sunrise, every breath you take, it's a gift from something that is slowly, inevitably becoming our end. But in that knowledge lies power. We can prepare, we can dream, we can look to the stars not with fear, but with purpose. Because the sun may kill us, but before it does, we have the chance to become something greater, not victims of a dying star, but its legacy.